Hi, this is Trepacer. Welcome to Trepacer Saturday Horror Reviews, episode 42. I'm going with an old movie from the 80s, a movie that I guess is a sort of a modern classic in a way. I know it's probably everybody's favorites. I remember going to see this in the theater and really enjoying this, and the soundtrack for this movie is absolutely killer. One of the best soundtracks ever made for a motion picture. And of course, we're talking about 1987's The Lost Boys. Okay, this stars, of course, Jason Patric, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland. You have Alex Winter in this. You have Jamie Gertz in this. Diane Wiest, Edward Herman, Bernard plays the grandfather. Bernard, hold on, see what his name is. That plays the grandfather. Yeah. Bernard Hughes plays the grandfather. And basically, it's a story about this lady who's divorced. She moves back into Santa Clara, California, with her two sons, a teenage son, Michael, played by Jason Patric, a younger who plays Sam. Okay, so Diane Wiest plays the mother, and Bernard Hughes is the grandpa that they move into to Santa Clara.
And Santa Clara is by the ocean, of course, and it's like a seaside town, resort side of town, but it also has an ominous saying on the back of a billboard that says "Murder Capital of the World," and also you can see why in the beginning of the movie when you see a bunch of young punks led by Kiefer Sutherland and his crew. They're basically on the boardwalk harassing some fellow teenagers, and they get kicked off, and then by the security guard, and then later said security guard winds up missing. Okay, and basically it's the story. It's a vampire tale, The Lost Boys, and it's paid for comedy and for horror, and it's basically about this seaside town that all the people are disappearing, and of course you have these two young frog brothers played by Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, and Jason Newlander, who plays Edgar, and Alan Frog, the Frog brothers, who run the comic book shop with their parents, their zoned out parents, and basically they, when Corey Haim's character of Sam comes walking into their, store one day, they basically tell him, listen, this is the murder capital of the world. This town's full of vampires, and of course he first doesn't believe it. He's just kind of resentful that they had to move from Phoenix, back in with their grandfather upon the divorce, and so he's just trying to find his way. And of course he knows a lot about comics, so they kind of bond that way. And then of course the older brother, Jason Patric Michael, he catches at a concert, he catches the eye or he sees a star played by Jamie Gertz, who he likes how she looks, and they kind of make eye contact. And of course he's attracted to her, and he tries to get to know her. But in the course of trying to meet her, he runs into Kiefer Sutherland's characters and him and his crew. And basically, again, this is a story about this young teenage boy who gets involved with this gang who just happens to be vampires. And like I said, it's paid for some comic laughs, but the vampires are deadly serious. Okay, and it's a fun movie, and it's the soundtrack is killer. Kiefer Sutherland is the the lead teenage guy is great as usual, very charismatic, and Jason Patric as young Michael is really good as well. And I love her character in this, star. She's more than just a pretty face. I love, like I said, Corey Feldman and Newlander, who play the Frog Brothers. They're fantastic and off kilter and stuff, and it's funny. Name is as good as Sam as well. And Diane Wiest plays the divorced mothers, move on and get on with the teenage sons, and plays the grandpa who's into taxidermist, and he's dating and he has his house and stuff, and it's a fun movie. Slowly gets weaned gang, and of course, to his horror, he finds out exactly what this gang is made of, literally, and then it's on from there. And then them trying to, especially the Frog Brothers and Sam trying to, save Michael's and get rid of the vampires. It's a fun soundtrack is killer, but this is a fun movie. It's a, it's a modern classic. People love this movie, and I love it. Okay, it's surreal, and I'm gonna give The Lost Boys 7.5. I thought it was an excellent movie, and I remember soundtrack is killer. You know, a different take on the vampires. I like the different take of this movie. Of course, it's directed by Joel Schumacher, produced by Richard Donner. Okay, and great cast. You have Jason Patrick, Corey Haim, Diane Weiss. Now here's Edward Hurd, who plays Matt shopkeeper who kind of woos Weiss's character. You know, mother. You know, he kind of woos her in her job. Okay, and it's okay. Again, Keith Russell. You can tell Keith on a blast playing this part. This young pup named David. Okay, the leader of the gang. Okay, and fun movie. Again, at 7.5. Okay, like I said, it would be a comedy. What's a horror comedy slash horror slash comedy, and drama too. Okay, it's kind of all three. Anyway, aside, let me know if you've seen this movie. Like I said, I've seen this, so it was good to revisit this. It's still as fun as I remember it. Again, I know I keep saying killer soundtrack, but this is killer for this movie. Again, a 7.5, I definitely highly recommend. Anyway, let me know what you think of The Lost Boys. Seen it? And feel free to leave below. And this is Trepacer saying so long. Take care.